Hello and welcome to another Doctor's Assistant 1 video. Today I'm doing another Doctor Who collection update video sort of thing. I'm doing a collection update on the comics that I've got by Titan Comics predominantly. Also, a little bit of a weird disclaimer, but there are some other bits and pieces here, there and everywhere within my bedroom. But this is the big bulk of the sort of single issue Titan Comics that I've got. I've got Titan Comics, well, a Titan comic maybe, a graphic novel, I think a 12 Doctor one that I got from a friend. And then what else? I've got just a Doctor Who magazine, sort of, you know, graphic novel / compilation of all the Ninth Doctor stuff they did. Sort of Panini comic thing there, a fanzine sort of thing that I reviewed, which had like a story from Batman March sort of thing, and or Matthew. And if you're interested in any of these issues that pick up that you've sort of seen in this collection video, please do feel free to have a check on my channel. If not, check the Doctor Who comic book review playlist on my YouTube channel, because I've pretty much reviewed all of these comics, which is kind of mad to think of because it's a big stack of comics. But yeah, first starting with this one. I might go over some of these briefly, but try not to say too much. Time Lord Victorious, as I said before, I think in the individual review of those two, I think I should have bought this in a graphic novel. Had I known it was only going to be 2 issues, I would have done that. Really cool sort of promo image of the Time Lord Victorious thing, and it's really cool that they've added this sort of postery thing on the back, although it's kind of annoying that, like, I'm pretty sure that's already out of date. There's another thing being added to it, I don't know. Really cool cover there. The holiday special sort of thing, sort of covers, or 2-parter issue. This is like an exclusive comic cover, I think, as well, so that's really cool to have got back in 2019, I want to say, end of 2019. Feels like a lifetime ago already. End of 2019. It's from Glasgow, sort of the 4 Doctors sort of run issue of runs, or run of issues even. I'm tired, you can already tell. Matt, and then you've got David, and then you've got Matt, David, and 12, and Capaldi, and then the weird cut out version of the War Doctor, which has always been pretty weird. I do have a Sheffield Comic Con exclusive version of issue 1, but it's not in this pile of comics. If anything, I wish I'd moved it away from this pile of comics before it got a bit more damaged, which, yeah, is a bit annoying. Few 10th Doctor ones that I've got. I don't think I've got any more Matt Smith ones anymore. I think I gave them to Ace Creeper, because he had a P.O. box once, and I gave him some comics. The sort of Weeping Angel 10th Doctor arc is really good, from if memory serves. And if there are any of these that you're really interested in sort of knowing about, if I've got a complete arc / series of, please do comment below if you'd want me to do an overview of said arc / overview of that sort of thing, if that makes sense. Then you go into the 9th Doctor ones. Man, 9 looks weird in that cover. Less so in this one. Yeah. Yeah, you can kind of tell that I'm a big 9th Doctor fan. I think I've got most, if not all, of the 9th Doctor comics by Titan Comics, yeah. Yeah, can never get enough of my boy Eccleston, Eccles Cake. It's a weird Doctor Strange almost cover, Marvel cover, with the floor and that. More of a darker cover with the sort of Ninth Doctor issue 9, with the TARDIS fading into his face and that. Very, very weird. This one's kind of bland, honestly. It's really weird seeing the Ninth Doctor sort of smiling, to be honest. On the he doesn't do it very often, so it's a very rare thing, I suppose. I've just remembered Kevin Scott is the writer for this, if not in a lot of these, and I'm pretty sure he's doing like Star Wars: The High Republic now stuff, as well as Back to the Future / Transformers, as well as I think he's done an audio or two with Big Finish, so that's interesting to me. I do love this cover. This is really cool. I mean, I'll be honest, some of the covers for Titan Comics, not just the Ninth Doctor ones, but just some of them in general, I've often looked at and been like, wow, they'd be good as prints, you know, it's just sort of prints without the sort of Doctor Who and all the sort of barcode and all the gubbins, and that it's just sort of artwork in your bedroom / the living room, maybe even. I think anyway, but other people, you could disagree with that, I don't know. I think with the originally with the Ninth Doctor, I think it wasn't going to be an ongoing series. I think it was just going to be a 5-part mini-series, but fortunately, clearly myself and other Doctor Who fans, there's enough of us who are specifically fans of the Ninth Doctor who grew up with him first, that that they really did sort of go ahead and make more, you know, than just the 5. I think that would have been criminal had they only done the 5, but then again, there is the saying, less is more. I adore this cover, you know, this just looks, as I was saying earlier, as a piece of artwork, you know, this sort of oil pastel sort of thing, and that just looks like the Nana jeans, and it just looks, for lack of a better term, fantastic. Likewise with this one always, I like the fact that issue 1 of, I'm pretty sure of all of the Doctors, bar maybe 1 or 2, was this sort of oil pastel-y, sort of watercolour-y sort of cover. Almost like you could just get issue 1 of all the Doctors that are in the Titan comic book range and just put them all side by side if you'd got the single issues. Now we move into the sort of 8th Doctor 5-part miniseries, which I remember really enjoying at the time, and again, if and when I ever get around to rereading any of these, if I've got a complete series, I might do an overview of said comics. Maybe not behind the camera, maybe even in front of the camera, if that's something you think would work better. Again, please do comment below. Granted, I don't know why anyone would want to see my ugly mug, but in front of the camera. But yeah, very strange. He's got a different colour necktie there, and thing. Weird. Although actually, it's purple there as well. Although it's a dark purple there, and the other one it was almost a pinkish colour. Yeah, issue 2, and then issue 1. Again, superb Night of the Doctor sort of oil pastel cover, and that I'd love that. It's just artwork on its own. We move into the 7th Doctor sort of 3-part miniseries, or 3-issue miniseries. I love the fact that this one's got like the rogues gallery of all of his baddies from his run, you know, sort of just almost embodying the idea that, you know, even though he was the last Doctor in the classic series, there was still some really good standout baddies. And then you've got him and Ace looking over a brick wall sort of thing, which just sort of sums up Doctor Who, really, doesn't it? That's that Scooby-Doo nature. Then you've got almost the Series 10 sort of cover / promo image. That really does remind me of more new series, more sort of Matt Smith hanging from the TARDIS / Peter Capaldi or Pearl Mackie, in that sort of Series 10 promo. But it's really cool because, McCoy's obviously holding with the Broly and that, and Ace is screaming. I remember liking the sort of Seventh Doctor sort of run of comics by Titan. I think what I like about them, I think what I like about Titan is that they seem to try really hard to capture both the essence and mannerisms of said Doctor, plus the era and the companions, or if not the companion, then at least, as I say, the Doctor and that era of said show, if it was televised. In the case of the Seventh Doctor, it was. And I think that's not always an easy feat, or it's not even something that some people would feel is worth doing. Now this one's a bit of an oddity because it's just a single issue of an IDW Doctor Who 7th Doctor one, which is slightly different, sort of artwork, and it's got that guy whose name I genuinely cannot ever remember, although he is in, very briefly, Time Heist, if you recall. And ironically, I was just earlier today of this recording reviewing Dark Eyes 1 and talking about how these are mainly only in the comics, these sort of holodisc sort of things for the Daleks. But yeah, and yeah, you get a different sort of art style and different thing of the Doctor and the Daleks, and yeah, with IDW. And yeah, I would have preferred to have got like the graphic novel of this as opposed to just one random single issue, but it was the only thing at the time, quite a long time ago, years and years ago now. I think I was still in secondary school that I got this, and it was from Planet in Leeds, and as I say, it was the only Doctor Who thing comic book wise they had, so that I could find, so that's why I picked it up. Moving on from the 7th, they haven't done the 6th or 5th Doctor or 6th Doctor, so you have a little 5-part miniseries with Tom Baker, my favourite Doctor, so yeah. And then you move on to the 3rd Doctor sort of 5-part miniseries, which I really enjoyed from what I remember, by Paul Cornell. And that I always feel like he just gets down to the core of every Doctor. It's kind of mad, really. And then writes some really unique, great stories from there, really. I can't fault him as a writer off the top of my head, nor would I want to be honest. I don't enjoy shitting all over people, honestly, and especially creative people, because it's very daunting thing, and I adore this cover. It feels very sort of retro, really, and I love the costume he's got, the 3rd Doctor there. Then you've got issue 4, issue 3, which is probably the one that I'm the least fond of, cover-wise at least, in particular is what I mean. And then issue 2, which again I really like the sort of fading black of their costumes respectively, with the sort of starry-eyed sort of both Jon Pertwee and our 3rd Doctor, and then the space, and then the TARDIS wall sort of faintly in the background there. Issue 1. Then you've got the Lost Dimensions, which I've got a handful of issues of and genuinely have no idea how they work at all, because you've got like part 3, and then there you've got 3.9. But then there you've got issue 3.8, but issue part 6. It's very confusing. Again, much like how I've been saying quite a lot through this video, I wish I'd got the graphic novel of this. Definitely. Because like there it says issue 2, but then at there it says part 2. Issue 1, but then again it's got part 2. Go figure. My god, Rose's backside looks huge there. Then you go into your free comics, free comic book day issue of 2019 one. Yeah, I guess the unfortunate thing is they won't have done a 2021, or maybe they did, I can't remember. Oh no, I did get free comics this year, last year. I don't think they did a Doctor Who one, weirdly enough, this year. Maybe they just didn't get round to doing it, because of everything going on, understandably. 2018, which has Matt, David and Capaldi. 2017, which has Eccleston, David and Matt and Capaldi, which I like more. And then, yeah, 2016. And then the first one would have been 2015, yes. Yeah, sure, why not? It's a nice, just like a little array of freebies. And yeah, I think the freebie ones are really good for anyone getting into comics generally, or if you've watched, like a good couple years of Doctor Who and you're getting a little bit burnt out, but you like reading, or you like some comics, or you've never read a comic book before, I think these would be great. Obviously starting on points, because again, you've got 13th Doctor one, you've got sort of Tennant, Smith and Capaldi and a lot, and then maybe a 9th Doctor one. Unfortunately, he kind of gets shafted. Typical. I'd probably say, yeah, like him or Capaldi are probably my favourite Doctors, maybe. Of the new revival, maybe. Although I don't mind how Jodie's characterised in the comics. Although I didn't reckon much to that one, in particular, the freebie one. That one in particular, which is a shame, because again, it's the most recent one in chronological order. But yeah, thanks for watching. Please do comment, rate and subscribe.